Namaskar, friends. This is Shomitra Lahiri once again. I'm the author of Guide to IBC.com. Today, I'm not going to talk about any legal thing. I'm basically going to talk on terms of how you will navigate personal guarantor matters. Personal guarantor matters, as you know, is a recent development. And the rules and regulations were introduced recently. And this is a part of corporate insolvency, but this has personal guarantors are individual. So, in order to check in guide to IBC.com, you have to, it needs a little bit of explanation as to how you would peruse and how you can find data. So, basically, today's discussion is going to be limited to how you are going to navigate personal guarantor. Now, let us share the screen and come to Guide to IBC. Yeah. Yes, you can see Guide to IBC.com. Now, let us first go to Corporate Insolvency Definition. And let us come to Section 2. So, Section 2 says that this provision of this code shall apply to A, B, C, D, and you come to G, F, and G. F says partnership firms and proprietorship firms, and G says individuals other than persons referred to in clause 1. So that means Insolvency Bankruptcy Code was created to cater for insolvency of not only body corporate, but also for individuals and partnership firms. But as of today, the thing is insolvency, a personal individual insolvency is not taking place because the regulations pertaining to that has still not been introduced. Now, but consequent to number of judgments of Honorable Supreme Court, the IBBI or the legislation have introduced insolvency and bankruptcy rules and regulations for personal guarantees. That is persons who have given guarantee to banks and institutions covering their loan taken by the principal borrower. So as we know, now that will again go into the legal aspect as to when can one uh, start the insolvency process and all. But as of now, I'm not going into technical details, which we will discuss on a later. Now, if you come to, let us go to home page. Now we go to IB code and we come to corporate insolvency. We see that the corporate insolvency page shows how many types of corporate insolvency can be there or how many segments this has been. So you will see at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the ninth thing is personal guarantors. Now this has two segments, insolvency and bankruptcy. So insolvency, you have insolvency rules, and you have insolvency regulations. Both has view index. So if you click on view index, it essentially like other corporate insolvency. Here also we have created, our idea is that insolvency bankruptcy code is just not a set of laws. As I said earlier, this is an ecosystem. So ecosystem, there has to be a mathematical. So in keeping that in view, we have correlated the rules with the sections. And similarly, for regulations also, what we have done is, so you see, here are the regulations and here are the sections which are been given. And let us go back. So insolvency rules, these are the rules you have to like. Uh, Application by guarantor comes under Rule 6. Application by creditor comes under Rule 7. Confirmation or nomination of insolvency professional is Rule 8, and so on and so forth. And once the Section 100 order comes out, then it goes to insolvency regulation as to how you do the carry out the insolvency process. Now, I'm not going into details. I'm not going into details, just sticking myself to what is to be done, like how you're going to navigate. Now, here, wherever you come, you see the relevant section. Like you come to definition, come to excluded assets, you click here, you see sections. Right? You go to application by creditor, you click, you see section 95. Here, what you see is that section 95, 79, these are related to where. Now, for this, you'll have to come to individual. Individual and firm, this as I mentioned, that Insolvency Bankruptcy Code was created for both for individuals as well as for corporates. Corporate is very much there, but this one has started recently. And so, with regard to if you want to see the cases, if you want to peruse the cases are for cases you will have to come to pertaining to sections. You will have to come to individual and firm. Here you see for 95, it's the same thing. Like corporate insolvency, this is broken into various topics. Like in, say, if you come to topic 32, it says that the existence of corporate insolvency process against corporate debtor does not preclude the initiation or the continuation of proceeding against the personal guarantors. So these are different topics. Now, under each topic, there may be one case or there may be multiple cases. The same way like corporate insolvency. Now, if we go back, but even in if we go into corporate insolvency and personal guarantors, here also you may find one or two cases. Like in in Rule 7, you see the case. It says that the invocation of, like, topic 3, invocation of personal guarantee must precede issuance of notice in Form B under Rule 7. So, this is a very recent case of State Bank of India versus Mr. Deepak Kumar Singh. So, and once you click here, you see the extent of the case. So this makes it so, which means that in order to see personal insolvency, you will not have to just stick to the corporate insolvency and also have to see individual and firm. Now, similarly, if you go to bankruptcy is also comprising of rules, and rules, you see the index. These are the index of, these are the rules vis-a-vis sections which they relate to. Like restrictions on bankrupt 140, disqualification of bankrupt, restrictions on bankrupt, modification or recall of bankruptcy order. So these are you can say these are 90% correct. But we have tried to, as I mentioned, we have tried to show it as a complete code. Bankruptcy regulation also similarly, the same thing is there, the regulations vis-a-vis the sections. So these are the like 33 distribution of dividend claim to deceased creditor 169, 170. So these are the sections of Insolvency Bankruptcy Code which it relates to. Now, in order to see, like, this is a new thing, so you won't find much cases here now. Like in 27 mode of sale, yes, there is one case. It is the bankruptcy trustee who has to hold the auction as directed by that particular firm. There is if you go to individual and firm, the bankruptcy starts from 120. So in 128 effective bankruptcy order, so you can see to determine whether an asset is benami for intention. So there is one case here. It's Mangathai Amma died through LR and legal representative and others versus Rajeshwari and other civil appeal 2019 Supreme Court. Restrictions on bankrupt also. There I see two cases, yes. Atul Punj versus Union of India. Delhi High Court judgment is there. So this is in a nutshell. In a nutshell, so what we come to understand is that like in corporate insolvency, you can just go to corporate insolvency. You don't have to. But you don't have to. You will get the sections and regulations both at the same place. But when it comes to personal guarantors, you will have to both see the rules and regulations, whether in insolvency or in bankruptcy, as well as you have to refer to individual and firm and refer to the sections. Because the case laws and things are more available in sections. Because these will also be applicable when the personal insolvency will start. These cases will also be applicable there. These are not particularly uh, pertaining to personal guarantors. These are pertaining to personal persons on whom the insolvency proceeding has been started. So I hope I've been able to explain this. We will talk on other topics later. There are some important judgments which are coming up very soon. And I would recommend everybody to at least see what new cases are being taken up. Like, say, for instance, this particular case in the Singh versus State of Madhya Pradesh. But this talks about section, this is a judgment, this is not relating to Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. So this is a judgment of section 238A, topic 60. So if we go to 238, 238A, that is concerning limitation, and topic 60. It says if in a particular case the merits have to be examined, it should not be stuck merely because of limitation. So where the limit is to be, where there is a limit, where there is a merit, you have to look into the merit. Just on the basis of the limitation, the case should not be stuck. So right to justice is with everybody. Constitution of India allows us to justice. So this is a very important case. This has nothing to do with I cannot say this has nothing to do with Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. But this is not directly linked to Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. But this is going to increase your general knowledge. An insolvency professional or any person, it's not just, you should not just restrict your view to Insolvency Bankruptcy Code only. It is better to have a general idea about this entire scenario, and based on that, to move ahead. So with that, we come to the end of this presentation. I hope you enjoy it. And then possibly towards the end of this week, or early next week, we'll come up with another edition of discourse in which we'll discuss about the important cases that has taken place over last 2 weeks or maybe last 10 days. And then have a good time. Let us wish you all the best in between. Namaskar. Thank you.